So we're here at the A&A Media Conference in Orlando. I'm here with Jeff Ratner, president of Quigley Simpson. There's been a lot of talk about what's going on in the space, especially around optimizing audiences. We're talking about supply path optimization. We're talking about a lot of important things. And there's a lot of practitioners in the room.
Yeah.
And Jeff is a penultimate practitioner. And I wanted to get your thoughts on what we're talking about with audiences, the optimization thereof, the building thereof, the measurement thereof, what's going on there?
So I think, there's this lot of conversation, and it's a good conversation about how do you optimize for efficiency? How do you, optimize your supply path? How do you get those dollars in front of that bullseye audience? But I don't know that there's enough talk about how do you grow audiences. So you know your core, you know who you're going after, but a lot of the clients that we've brought in said, all right, I've optimized the hell out of my plan. My ROAS is good, but my revenue sucks. Mm-hmm. So where is that next tranche of consumers coming from? And that becomes a combination of both test and learn strategies, a bit more branding, and figuring out how to get more people into the fold as opposed to finding that prime prospect. How do you build kind of the circles around those prime prospects to create growth, to create revenue, and to really build?
Yeah, so when people are discovering new audiences, talk about the role of branding and the value of waste thereof, right? Because you might not know that someone could respond to a product unless you don't always hit the bullseye, right? Because too much bullseye, you run out of that target.
Right.
How are you thinking through that?
Well, again, it is testing. It is also different attribution solutions. We are also doing some levels of modeling to understand the effects of branding, effects of awareness advertising. We also look at proxy metrics, and you sit there and say, well, I've sat in meetings with CEOs and CMOs and CFOs and saying, hey, that brand search is really efficient. Get me more of that brand search. And I say, well, the only way really to get more people to search for your brand is to have more people with awareness of your brand. Exactly. So, we put out campaigns, we move a little bit higher up the funnel, and we look at those proxy metrics. Did your website traffic go up? Did your brand search volume go up? And that's like, well, that's someone who's leaned in looking for you. Yeah. And so you've got to kind of balance between making people want to look for you and you going out and looking for people, and how to kind of move people through that entire journey.
Yeah. Someone once said to me, the most effective frequency is 0 to 1.
Yeah.
Right? Because they went from never knowing your product to absolutely knowing it at least once.
Yeah, it becomes almost an irony that if you do some of these things more effectively, build your brand, build awareness, you want to be almost creating that free or that discounted traffic to your site or to your product or to your sales, or when they go on Amazon or whatever, they're actually leaned in looking for you. Yeah. So, you kind of talk to a client that says, let's make this investment so that you can reap the rewards of it downstream.
Yeah. So what do you think, if you had to do your top 3 predictions by the end of this year? Yeah. What do you think is going to get more attention in the news?
Well, obviously, the news itself is just tension, and we are talking about the political climate and tariffs, and we've got clients that bring in product from overseas, and so they're still investing and still spending, but they're kind of feeling out and trying to figure out how they navigate that, and we're trying to help them figure out how to market around that. So I think that's going to be a critical thing. I also think we're also seeing the downturn in paid search volume, right? So Gemini and Chat and all those are changing the way we search. Amazing. And when the answer to your question is in the search response, you're not necessarily clicking through to a site. You're not clicking through to either a marketer site or a content site. Yeah. So that's changing the dynamic. The old rules around SEO are kind of out the window, and trying to think about how you're building sites and building content to be responsive to AI algorithms. And so it's really changing the dynamic.
Where's that money going to go?
Well, I think, part of it is, you're continuing to see the other walled gardens and retail media suck up those dollars. But I'd like to see it go more into that brand or awareness media. So when those responses when Shannon Reed was up there, when you type in, best pickups, and the response gives you the answer, the best pickups, and you see the Chevy Silverado in there, you're already brand aware of that Silverado, and you'll go to the site. So I think that creates opportunity, and I think, it is this holistic approach to media that, has to make a comeback, and is making a comeback, that we are looking at a collection of touches as opposed to that one search touch or that one meta engagement.
Very insightful. Thank you for your words of wisdom.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it too.
All right.